Hey guys, Lloyd here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Minotaur from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Duh, it is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection after all. This course is brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro and the lovely Aunt Tammy, who has gotten me several things I've reviewed on this channel. Those of you who missed my Power Ranger reviews from, gosh, like a month ago now. It's been a while. My lovely Aunt Tammy got me the Pudgy Pig and this guy for Christmas, but unfortunately, when I saw her for Christmas, she did not receive this guy yet, and unfortunately, when she went back home from seeing me for Christmas, that's when he decided to show up. So a little slow there, buddy, but I am glad that he is here. He is pretty cool. I would say he's probably one of my favorites of these monster figures, and unfortunately, from the looks of it, he's the last of the monster figures because the Power Rangers Lightning Collection is dead as a doornail, as a Charles Dickens would once say. So with that being said, let's cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at the Mighty Minotaur's accessories, starting off with the grip hands. Comes with two of these, of course, one for each side. It does have the correct hinge for holding weapons, so that is cool. I think all these monster guys have that, except maybe King Sphinx and Pumpkin Rapper. I think other than them, all the characters who have weapons have the right hinge. If not, then this is the first, and, you know, that's why the line's canceled, probably. That said, he does come with a club, a big spiked club you can put in said grip hands. I will say he holds this better than this big old honkin' shield here, which I kind of wish clipped on the wrist somewhat, but if you finagle it, you can get it to sit on there okay. But there you go, there's two weapons. He does come with an effect piece, which you could put on his horns or the shield. Granted, it's going to stretch, but you can put it on kind of like this. I'm not going to waste your time with all that. This is an old figure, and we'd be here forever if I did that. And then last but certainly not least, he does come with one more thing. He comes with a little minifigure of himself, which is meant to be a clay model of the Mighty Minotaur that Finster puts in the Monster Maker machine, and it turns into this big behemoth back here. So that's pretty cool. I do not have the Finster figure currently. It was on sale for like $10 on Amazon during Prime Days last year. I just missed out on that sale. He is probably the only character from Mighty Morphin I don't have that's kind of a big deal, because at this point I have all the Rangers. I have Goldar, Lord, Zed, and Rita Repulsa. I have all these big old honkin' monster figures. And I even have a freaking Zordon, courtesy of a friend of the channel, Evil Villain. Actually, most of my MMPR Lightning collection is courtesy of my good buddy, Evil Villain, friend of the channel, as I mentioned before. At this point, the only thing I think I am missing is that Finster figure, because anything I don't have from MMPR, Evil Villain's sent or is sending me. So, looking forward to displaying them properly. Right now, they're just kind of haphazard, but speaking of MMPR and figures Evil Villain sent me, here is Zack the Black Ranger for your Ranger comparison, just so you get a gist of how big this Mighty Minotaur is, as Zack face plants and makes me look like a moron. Come on, buddy. He was standing by the heat duct, kinda, sorta. Not really. There were some boxes in front of it, kind of blocking it from blasting him directly, but, you know, it is what it is. There you go. So, basically, in Marvel Legends terms, this guy is Build-A-Figure sized, I would say. getting him out of here. He is the ranger that best works with the review set. I would say my favorite ranger, like everyone, is Jason David Frank. Good old, is it Tommy? Green Ranger? So taking a closer look at the mighty Minotaur here. He's pretty cool, but a Mythic Legions Minotaur he is not. So don't buy this expecting that. This is a very low budget version of the Mythic Legions Minotaur I just pre-ordered. Granted, that one costs twice as much as this guy, so I expect that one to be better. But this guy was on sale, I think, for the longest time for, what, 20 bucks was it? So, definitely worth it for that price, I would say. And I would even say, for 30 bucks, you definitely get enough accessories. I think he comes with more than the average figure from this line. I would say him, the pumpkin wrapper, and the eyeball dude come with the most accessories and are the tallest figures in this line. King Sphinx is tall too, but he's missing some paint. He does have those wings though. But as far as accessory count, this guy, the pumpkin guy, and the eyeball guy have the most. That said, he does have a fist hand on one side and a kind of claw hand on the left. As far as his articulation goes, his head does rotate. It is only squeaky because of this main piece. It's not necessarily a tight joint, but he can look up and down a little bit, not a ton. It's a double ball pig, but it's very hindered. The horns are soft, pliable plastic, so you don't got to worry about those snapping on you. That's nice. The shoulders go out to the side about that far. Not bad for a big guy. They do go back down. You can rotate them all the way around. He does have a butterfly joint, which I'm not the biggest fan of on any figure line. I will say his joints in some areas are either really tight or a little bit on the loose side, but nothing terrible. He does have a bicep swivel. He's got a double elbow that is a little hindered by his big old Ghost Rider gauntlets there. I mean, I guess Danny Ketch wasn't the only one rocking spikes around his wrists in the 90s. Am I right? He does have a swivel in the wrist with a hinge. On these hands, they go in and out, not up and down. That makes sense. His diaphragm joint, he can crunch forward a little bit with that, crunch back a little bit with that. He can tilt side to side ever so slightly. It does rotate. It is a little tight, but that's better than it being floppy loose. And then the ab crunch can crunch about that far forward. A little bit more. About that far forward. And then about that far back. So he does have pretty decent articulation there. Hips can kick out to the side. He does not appear to have drop down hips, I don't think. No, he just appears to have the standard, just dumbbell hips there. He's got a thigh cut that works fine. He can kick forward pretty well, back a little bit. He's got a double knee that does work. I will say the one kneecap on mine came unglued, this one. I'm not sure how that happened exactly. It's just unglued, so hopefully I can have Mr. Brian, aka the old man, aka my dad, glue that back on. It will be okay. I just got to figure out the right spot where it's supposed to be at there. I think that's it, but I can't necessarily tell. I'm just straighten it out, whatever. And then he does have the ball hinge ankles. They do hinge back and forth and have a rocker. A little loose on those, but not terrible. He can stand just fine. I got him to stand for the video. And then his tail is on a little ball joint. So I think for the price and for the build, you're getting a decent figure here. I think the only thing I don't care for on this guy are the butterfly joints, just because they are a little loose. And his arms do kind of swing back and forth. And I think the shoulders could have been better detented. This side's not bad. This side doesn't really have that ratchet or detent to it. But it is what it is. It's fine. It's going to get the job done. It's what I wanted out of the figure, and that's all that matters. It's good enough. I'm not one to settle for good enough, but in this case, you know, they're discontinuing the line, so what really is the point of complaining about its problems? It's dead. It's dead in the water. I guess they're not going to do anything with it. Kind of like the Ghostbusters Plasma series. Another line that is dead in the friggin' water. Like, I don't know what Hasbro's doing getting all these licenses just so they can, you know, slowly die, but I guess we're just looking at another Overwatch scenario. The only difference is people actually gave a crap about Power Rangers and Ghostbusters. Am I right? Maybe not. But either way, before we wrap this thing up, this would not be one of my reviews without bringing in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus. There. Just so you can see how he scales with a Mythic Legions if you're inclined to pick one of these up to go with your Mythic Legions. If you are so inclined to pick one of these up to go with your Mythic Legions. God, I can't talk. And we have the infamous K11 Spawn. Not sure if he ever fought a Minotaur. He fought that Tremor dude, which I hope we get a Mega Fig of at some point, but I'm going to hold my breath on that. Because that line seems like it's dead in the water. The Spawn line sucks, because I love me some Spawn, but whatever, I guess. I like Spawn figures that don't break, but, you know, I guess it is what it is. People would rather buy the Fragile Stactions from 20 years ago that shatter when you look at them wrong. So what if they look good? If they're not durable, then what is the point? What is the point, I ask you? That said, yeah, Mighty Minotaur is bigger than these two, but it should be expected. He dwarfed the frickin' Black Ranger. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and even though this is a bit of a bittersweet review because the Power Rangers Lightning Collection is coming to an end, they kind of went on a high note because the Mighty Minotaur is one of my favorite monsters from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I think the fine folks over at Hasbro did a pretty good job on this guy, despite the fact that the Power Rangers Lightning Collection as a whole did have its issues. But I think in the end, they did something really cool here, and as far as I know anyways, from word of mouth that is, the reissues of the core Ranger team from Mighty Morphin were also really well done. I know they were pinless and had a little bit more articulation than the other ones. That's cool. That's not really my bag. I've never been pro or against pinless. It's nice, yes, but it does have its drawbacks, just like having pins. So, you know, take that for what you will. But despite the fact that this is one of my favorite monsters from Mighty Morphin, it is also one of the few vintage Mighty Morphin monster figures I used to have. I actually used to have the Mighty Minotaur. I'm not sure what I did with it. I did not send it to a friend of the channel, Evil Villain. I think I sent it to either my buddy John Gaither or my buddy Dr. Twisted's Realm, otherwise known as Jeff. So I'm not sure what happened to that guy, but I did used to have him. And I did used to have this crazy Cacodemon looking goat man with like a rib cage. I kind of wish they made him, or the weird rhino armadillo looking thing, or even that crazy looking chicken guy. But the two I'm the most bummed out about that they're not going to get to, because again, the line is dead, is the skeleton with like the pimp hat and cape and the sword, and the Black Knight. I really liked them. I thought they were really cool looking monsters, but unfortunately, this is the end of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Maybe not on this channel. I do have plenty of Rangers to review, but as far as the monsters go, I reviewed every single one of them on the channel. You can check the reviews out for yourself if you're interested, but yeah, man, kind of sucks, but at least we got this guy before the line was canceled. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.